Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another review episode. And today, I'm going to be reviewing Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. This was a classic Steven Spielberg film that came out in 1981, rocking the 80s, and it pretty much had an interesting take on the adventure archaeology type 1930s sort of story. And I gotta say, I think Steven Spielberg nailed it. But what do I personally think of Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark? Because it does take a lot of real historical aspect mixed with stuff from that happened in the Bible. Well, and I find that all pretty interesting, but how do I think of this classic film? Well, that's why you're here. Today, I'm going to be reviewing it. Let's go. In 1936, Indiana Jones is in Peru, looking for an artifact in a temple. Though after that, which is pretty much chaos. But after that adventure, and he comes back to America at his school to teach, because he's a teacher, he's soon asked about the Ark, which the Nazis are looking for. Indiana Jones will soon go on a mission to find an item that can lead him to the Ark. And along with his female partner, Marion, they'll go on their journey to Egypt to search for it. But not after getting into a lot more trouble against the Nazis and a man who is in search of the Ark. And I gotta say, the characters are pretty interesting. They're fleshed out. Definitely Indiana Jones is a classic character. Along with his partner. His partner, Marion's pretty good, but it has her moments. But, yeah, Indiana Jones is mostly the one that does most of the stuff. And Marion as well, I mean, she has her moments, but she's pretty much the damsel in distress sort of deal. Yeah, because the thing is, Indy goes through a frying pan and right into the fire at points a lot.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
You wonder how he gets through these situations that are deadly. Overall, I really enjoyed Indiana Jones. It's a classic film from the 80s. I like also the historical time period that it's set in. And the story's really good. It gives you a fun historical ride along with some of the Bible stuff, which makes it very interesting. Indiana Jones is a classic character and the film itself. And since this is set before World War II, I like this sort of stuff. Since it's the period of history that I do personally enjoy studying about. But there's a lot of other aspects to it too that is just really good. Knowing the locations, knowing what specific points in history that was going on at the time, and just the style of the film. I mean, it's 80s, so it's got that good feel. And the first Indiana Jones nails it in that department. The effects are so good. I really I enjoyed this film. And it's one of my childhood films too, because I remember when I was getting into Inuyasha at the time and just constantly watching this sort of thing at that point too. Nostalgia. Yeah, I mean, I watched it years after it came out. It's still a great experience, even when I was younger. So good. The soundtrack in this film is just outstanding. It's classic John Williams. What else is there to say? It's classic. And the theme just fits perfectly with this movie. Now, the film quality, it's 1981. It's an 80s film, and you get that vibe, and it's so classy and nostalgic. It's a very good looking film, especially after they've touched it up a bit. I don't really remember seeing much editing problems, but I can say all the stunts and stuff in there were just so good. All of it was, they didn't have, 3D or any of CGI stuff. No, this was all, everything was planned, stunts, all real. It was so good. This film nailed it. And that's why I like 80s films. They nail so much. They have to be creative, and practical effects are really good. They feel realistic, and it nails it. Indiana Jones is a very interesting series where they set it in a historical time frame, but they also had some historical aspects of the Bible when it came to the Ark. And I find that pretty interesting. The film was well done, acting's good, the actual effects are really good, some of the action scenes are really good. It delivers in so much that's just so good, and you get some historical lessons out of this. Being an archaeologist seems very interesting. Going around the world. I mean, Indiana Jones travels around the world. It's so interesting. And I gotta say, this film is great. It's great for an 80s classic. I would definitely check it out. I mean, Harrison Ford, I can see him as both Han or Indiana Jones, and he fit the role very well. It's a great film, and I would highly suggest checking it out. If you hadn't seen this film, definitely should check it out. If you like history, this is one of the films to watch, and it's an 80s classic too. One of the best films to come out to rock the 80s. Well, that's all for today, folks. If you like what you saw here, you can follow me or check out some other reviews that I've done. I also have other stuff about the 80s if you want to check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace.